Thank you, Abraham, for choosing me. I feel in a way you've actually just answered what I came here for, but...
We did. Sometimes it's easier to hear it when you don't think we're talking directly to you.
That's what I thought. Yes, I'm selfish, and I've tried to achieve maybe 3 things, particularly in my life. I understand the enjoyment of the moment. I understand the necessity for feeling good. But I'm impatient, and I feel at my age I should have achieved some of the things that I wanted to achieve. I have some great things in my life.
Well, now, so you're impatient, so you acknowledge that. So then you say, all right, there are things that I've wanted that I have not yet achieved, and I feel impatient in not achieving them. We say, that's a good thing. That means they still pulse for you, and it means in your awareness of impatience that you recognize that you're not vibrationally up to speed. Now think about what you just said to us. Feel this, because if you can get this piece, and you can, it's all going to fall into place for you. The impatience that you feel is not for the lack of achievement. Seems like it. The impatience you feel is not because of it's taking too long to get what you are saying you want. The feeling of impatience is because in this moment of impatience you're holding it back. You're holding you back from it. That impatience is the feeling of stall. It's the feeling of being in neutral instead of in drive. It's the impatience is what we want to talk to you about. So when we talk to you about getting to where you want to be, we don't want to talk about the goal. We want to talk about soothing the impatience. You see, we want to talk about doing anything you can to get the thoughts different enough that the impatience subsides. Can you hear this? That's the work of creation. The work is to stop the resistance and allow the allowance. Now, wasn't that a screwy way of saying that? How can you stop resistance? You can't stop resistance, but you can allow allowance. There's a difference between stopping resistance and allowing allowance, isn't there? Even though there's resistance and there's allowance, they're opposite ends of the stick. But so the whole process is about soothing the impatience. So how would you, what kind of words would soothe the impatience? So you just play around and you say, well, I've been around for a while and I should have gotten more done toward these 3 things that matter so much to me. Did that soothe impatience or inflame it?
Inflame it slightly.
It inflames it. When you say, I should have done it better, I should have done it faster, I should have done it sooner, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, something's wrong. In other words, those inflame it. But how about a statement such as this? I didn't know then what I know now, so I expect things will speed up now.
That sounds better.
I didn't know then what I know now. I was numbed about my guidance. I was not making a correlation between who I'd become and who I'm allowing myself to be. I didn't have any of that understanding, and now I have this understanding. Now I can do something about this. Now I can do something about it. Isn't that nice to know? And does that soothe you?
Yes, it does.
Now I know. Now you can make that impatience inflame again if you say, oh yeah, but I've been doing this work for quite a few years now, and I do know, but I'm still stuck. I'm still not applying it. So now is that inflaming the impatience or soothing it? So then you say, yes, but in the meantime, I have lived more life, and my vibrational escrow is bigger, and the stream is moving faster. And look at all of the things that I've come to know, and look at how many things are going well. In other words, frequently, as Jerry and Esther find a little hiccup in their experience, both of them will begin rampaging to each other about how many things are going well. In other words, when Esther says, we're still not very good delegators, we've kept too much on our plate, and she usually says that at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're up against a deadline. We're keeping too much on our own plate. And then, well, that feels terrible, because that's negative emotion. That's fanning the flames of me not doing what I've said I need to do. And then one or the other of them will start making a long list of things that they used to do that now they don't do, that other talented, willing, loving people are doing. And they say, before they know it, they're saying, what are we talking about? Look how good we are at this thing that we are complaining about not being good at. We're really, really good at it. And this experience is just reminding us we want to be a little better at it. But you don't get better at anything by beating yourself beside the head and neck with a club. They say. So, want to talk about something specific?
Making my business make money instead of me just working. I have worked. I'm not under the
now
illusion.
listen to your words. It's all right. You said making my business make money instead of me working. Now those are only words, but they're full of vibration. And so think about it. Does making sound like assertion or allowing?
Assertion.
Does making sound like law of attraction is the engine in it, or does it sound like you're the engine in it?
Yeah.
So ask, who's the engine in all of this? In other words, did you hear us as we were talking about this vibrational escrow that you've put all those pieces into over time, and the swirling energy that is it, and law of attraction's response to it? So what do you think's making things happen? Is it you, or is it law of attraction?
Law of attraction.
And is it you right now, this red hot minute, or is it what you've put there piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece? In other words, can't you feel a certain pride and accomplishment in what you've put into your vibrational escrow? That perhaps is the thing that we most want to convey to all of you in these hours that we've been together on this ship. We want you to garner your own sense of this incredible creation that you have already created. We know you keep saying, well, if that's true, then where's my stuff? And we say, it's over here. It's swirling in the ethers. And you say, that's the problem. It's ethereal. I want it to be material. And we say, it will be. It is. It is. You've just got to allow a little more. You've done your work. Now you've got to find a way of being proud of what you've done and expectant of what you've done and eager about what you've done, instead of comparative about what parts of it have manifested and what parts of it haven't. In other words, you have to take the emotional journey. You have to let your vibrational escrow be your feeling place, not your seeing place, counting place, participating in the. Do you know that everything that everybody wants, all of this wonderful potential and creation, potential in terms of manifestation, creation in terms of it's already there vibrationally, every bit of it, the reason that you want all of it, the money, the increased business, the more customers, the more time to enjoy it, the comfortable people to assist you in the accomplishing of it, the reason that you want all of that is because you know that you will feel better when you have that. And all we're asking you to do is to try to use the power of your mind, your imagination, your words, your ability to envision, to get over there and feel it before it manifests. That is the only secret to creation. You have to find the feeling place of your creation before it can manifest. So when you're complaining about not enough business or not enough money or not enough time to enjoy what you've created, when you're beating the drum of those things, you are doing the opposite of what must be done. You must find the feeling place. You have to pretend it as it is done. If you are waiting for your lover to show up, you are wanting to get over there in that vibrational escrow and make love to your lover. Get over there in your mind. Go to the movies with your lover. Go to the beach with your lover. Reach out and take your lover's hand. Feel the emotions that move through you when you are loving someone and they are loving you back. Conjure the image that evokes the emotion and changes your vibration and allows what you want.
Is that how it happens in 30 days? So you can change something in 30 days, is to do the vibration in your mind.
You have to get inside the vibrational escrow and feel what's over there. Okay. And most of you have been trying to justify. You see, here's the simple difference in creation as it really works and the way humans have been attempting it, and it's why so many humans are experiencing mediocrity in comparison with what could be. We're not kidding you. You're living grand lives, but they are paltry in comparison to what's in your vibrational escrow. And the reason is because instead of making the effort, and it does take effort to envision something that you can't see right before your eyes, instead of making the effort to get in there and find the feeling place, instead they're trying to figure out what to do that could move them there. If you would make the effort, there's so much leverage in envisioning, but if you don't stay there in your vision long enough to feel the improvement in your emotion, then nothing's changed. And so even though life is causing your vibrational escrow to keep moving forward, and you're doing a pretty good job of sort of catching up with it, if you don't start closing that gap, you continually feel that dissatisfaction that you're talking about. So relative to a business that you're wanting to grow, so instead of saying, I want to make my business make money, what you're wanting to say is, I love the feeling of being inside of my business that is effortless. I love doing what I do. I love knowing what I know. And isn't it nice that it makes so much money? I love, and what is it about money that is important to me? Money is synonymous with freedom, and freedom is the true nature of my being. I love making decisions based upon whether it feels good to participate, not upon whether I can afford it or not. I love taking money out of the equation. I love knowing that this feeling of well-being, this feeling of security, this feeling of at oneness, this feeling of prosperity, this feeling of abundance, it's all the same feeling. It's all the same feeling. Now hear that. We just gave you an important key. Because when you pick up the stick called security, insecurity on one end, security on the other, it may be easier for you to feel the security end of the security insecurity stick than it is the abundance end of the abundance lack of abundance stick. You see, because the security is a more general statement. In other words, there are so many things that can cause you to feel security. You can lie in your bed and feel the stability. Esther loves it when the ship moves. She loves that rock and roll experience, and she knows that some cruisers who are new at cruising might be clinging to the walls a little, but Esther loves it. She says, now we're on the ocean. Now we're on this pulsing, breathing, moving, and she loves that rockabye baby feeling that she gets in her bed at night. In other words, there is no feeling of security greater than basking in the deliciousness of your bed and knowing the well-being of your physicalness. In other words, look for any excuse in the world that you can. Stand in the marketplace, at the grocery store, or wherever you are buying your produce, and look at the abundance and variety of perfection that is right before your eyes. Marvel at the beauty of the colors and pick pieces up and feel them in your hands. Smell them. Experience the security of your economics, of your delivery system. In other words, every excuse you use to feel secure amplifies that end of the stick. Now, when you think about not enough money, you're on the other end of that. So think about anything that resonates with feeling good. You see what we're getting at? You don't have to take a subject and wrestle it to the ground and kill it. In fact, you can't. When you take something like money, most of you have been practicing your lackful thoughts about money for a very long time. And you can catch yourself in the act of doing it when you want to purchase something and it costs too much and you feel bad that you can't afford it, or you feel mad that they're asking so much for it. When you feel those feelings within you, say to yourself, I'm on the wrong end of this stick. How can I get on the other end of the stick? And then do everything within your power to get on the other end of the stick. Even if you have to make it a big general stick that's easy to get on the other end of it, you see. And what you will discover, and so soon that it will be very pleasing to you, what you will discover is that by not hitting it so head on, but by caring deeply about finding the feeling place of what's in vibrational escrow, is that it gets easier and easier to go there. And then evidence of your having been there begins to show up everywhere you go. In other words, some say, well, Abraham, it gets a little tiring having to pretend things. And we say, then you're not doing it right, because if you pretend it and move the way you feel, then manifestations start coming and you don't have to pretend anymore. That's why the rich get richer. It's easy to feel rich when you're rich. It's easy to feel secure when you don't have a bit of money worry in the world. But you can't get to not a bit of money worry in the world without some practice. And people say, no, I need the money to get there. And we say that's backwards. You can find the feeling before the money comes. And if you will find the feeling, the money will come. If you don't find the feeling, the money can't come. The method can't come. The co-creation can't come. You got to get in there and feel it, you see.